morning. My name is Jeff, and thank you for joining me today on this bright Sunday morning. After last week's show, I received a comment I would like to share. It was from somebody who called themselves Zoomzitty, I think, and he or she had this to say. George Mather, star of Ring of Terror, was my cousin. Our grandfathers were brothers. He also worked on Star Wars Episode 4 A New Hope, 1977, as production supervisor, Big Trouble in Little China, 1986, and Poltergeist 2 The Other Side, 1986. Right away, panic set in. That's a fear of mine, that I will say something bad or negative about an actor in a film, or a director, or whatever, and that person or a relative of that person will get back to me in anger. They'll be mad about what I said, so right away I'm thinking, oh, did I say anything bad about George Mather? I don't think I did. I think the only thing I said was that he was too old for the part, which he was, so I think I'm okay. Anyway, I sent a comment back asking him or her if they had any information about the making of that film, and I haven't heard back, so who knows. Anyway, today I'm going to talk about a film that was first shown on Mystery Science Theater 3000 on November 17, 1990. It was a 1967 crime film called Wild Rebels, directed by William Grefé and starring Steve Alaimo, Bobbie Byers, John Vella, William Pastrano, and others. This was the Mystery Science Theater 3000 episode where Gypsy was having emotional issues, the Mads create a hobby horse in the style of motorcycles, and Joel and the Bots do a commercial for Wild Rebels cereal. And that featured a song that I like so much, I think I'll show it right now.
Pour out the milk. 1, 2, 3, 4. Wild Rebels, punchy, crunchy rebels. Don't bust your teeth on something sweet and hot.
Wild Rebels cereal, part of this complete breakfast.
They live for kicks, love for kicks, kill for kicks. They're the wildest of the wild ones. I get the kicks part, but calling them the wildest of the wild ones, that just doesn't seem right. I've seen wilder. Anyway, so for those new to the show, while I'm talking about a film that was first shown on Mystery Science Theater 3000, I'm more talking about the film itself and not so much about Joel and the Bots, though there will be a little best of at the end of today's show. Now, like I said, the man responsible for this film was named William Grefé. William was an American film writer and director who was born in 1930 and is not only still alive today, but also still directing. He was an exploitation low-budget filmmaker who worked mainly in Florida. William began writing and directing in 1963 with a film called The Checkered Flag. He went on to create the films Racing Fever in 1964, Sting of Death, Death Curse of Tartu, and The Devil's Sister, all from 1966. After finishing The Devil's Sister, he began working on his next film, which he called Pit Stop. I know what sells, said Grefé, and right now I'm dedicated to turning out this sort of picture. Someday I'll make my David and Lisa. The film was shot in about 15 days for about $75,000. The bank in the film was actually the Little River Bank, and the bar at the beginning was Trader John's Rock and Roll Joint. The lighthouse was in Key Biscayne in Florida, and it's still there today. The whole cast and crew were from Florida. Now apparently a South Florida motorcycle gang was used for some of the motorcycle work and stunts. The racing scenes at the beginning were shot at the Palm Beach Fairgrounds Speedway, with 1960 stock car legend Bobby Brack providing the stunt driving for Steve Alaimo. Now, to star in the film, he needed a name, so he picked Steve Alaimo. Steve was born on December 6, 1939 in Nebraska, and I believe is still alive today. He grew up in Rochester, New York, but went to the University of Miami to study medicine. He became a singer to make money while in school, but discovered he loved show business, so he said goodbye to medicine. He had been in a singing group called the Redcoats as a guitarist and singer, and they had a minor success with the song I Want You to Love Me. It was a bit of a local hit. This was back in the day before the corporate world took over the music industry, and many rock bands would have local hits on radio. When the band broke up, he went solo. He had a hit song called Every Day I Have to Cry in 1963. If you can call number 45 on the Billboard's Hot 100 a hit, but that song did become a top 5 tune in Miami. He was hired by Dick Clark to host and be the musical director of a TV program called Where the Action Is. At the same time, Steve began producing other artists such as Sam and Dave, Harold Melvin and the Blue Notes, and The 31st of February. It was about this time he tried his luck at acting. At age 26, the handsome young man signed a long-term contract with Thunderbird International Pictures, and his first film was called Pit Stop, the film we know today as Wild Rebels. Now, William Grefé said of Steve, "In most pictures, the successful actors have had distinct characteristics and personalities of their own. Take Cary Grant or Gary Cooper, for example. This is what Steve has. It comes through on film, the magic touch." To play the part of Banjo, another minor celebrity was picked. It was the former professional boxer Willie Pastrano. Willie lived from 1935 to 1997. He held the undisputed WBA, WBC, and the ring lightweight titles between 1963 and 1965. He retired and became a spokesperson for a local Miami, Florida milk company, and then the official host of the Presidential Steakhouse in Miami, Florida. He was good friends with Steve Alaimo, and it was Steve who talked him into going into acting. "I never realized I mumbled so much," said Pastrano. "I talk low and fast. I ruin a lot of film. But I'll say one thing about the retakes. I never said the same line twice. I just make something up as we went along." His acting career never really took off, only really appearing in a couple of other William Grefé films, The Hook Generation from 1968 and The Naked Zoo from 1970. Unfortunately, his life took a downward turn as he developed a heroin addiction, John Vella plays Jeter. I couldn't find out anything about John except that he was born in New York City and that he was a friend of William Grefé. And all of his film appearances were in Grefé films, with the exception of a film in 1979, More American Graffiti, in which he played Big Guy. The part of the beautiful blonde was played by Bobbie Byers. Bobbie was born Catherine Byers on October 7, 1941 in Sioux City, Iowa. Before this, she did voice work for two Japanese TV shows that were dubbed for the American audience, Prince Planet and Wonder 3. After Wild Rebels, she starred in the film Savages from Hell, another film in which the youth are out for kicks. From 1973 to 1974, she was in 12 episodes of a TV series called The Doctors. Now, the last actor I'll talk about is Jeff Gillen, who plays Fats. Jeff lived from 1942 to 1995. Like Bobbie Byers, he played a voice on Prince Planet before this. A couple of films Jeff did after this might be of interest. He was in the fantastic and underrated Children Shouldn't Play with Dead Things from 1972, but more importantly, acted in one of the most beloved films of the holiday season, A Christmas Story. He played Santa Claus in the department store.
Ho, ho! Ho, ho, ho! Ho, ho, ho!
Now, near the beginning of the movie, there's a bar scene in which Rob meets the motorcycle gang, and there's a band playing. The group was a real rock and roll band called the Bird Watchers. They were considered, according to Wikipedia, an American garage rock and pop band from Tampa, Florida. They appeared on the show Where the Action Is, the show that was co-hosted by Steve Alaimo. The band was never a huge success. Their highest ranking was 125 on the Billboard charts. So what is Wild Rebels? Well, in a pre-title sequence, a scene not shown on Mystery Science Theater, our hero, Rod Tillman, is the driver in some sort of car race. I'm really not sure what kind of cars these are considered, but it turns out that he wipes out. His car, in which he saved his money for 2 years to buy, is destroyed. He decides to give up racing and auction off all his possessions.
This is an official auction. I got a new trailer over there with 8 brand new tires and rims. What am I bid for it?
The only thing he has left is his clothes and his guitar. So he hitches a ride to a bar where a band is playing. Now, this band really knows how to play music that will appeal to the youth of 1967.
Let me have a beer. Okay, what kind? Cold.
You have to like a man who doesn't care what beer he drinks as long as it's cold. A group of 4, Banjo, Jeter, Fats, and Linda, take notice of the young man. But before we get to business, Rod is asked to dance. Things are swinging now.
There are lips I've even kissed, impatience to resist. Are the girls that I have met, are the girls I must forget. Can I do it?
And wouldn't you know it, the band asked Rod to join them with a song. When you have a rock star like Steve Alaimo in your film, you're going to have him sing a few songs. I mean, you have to. That's what the people expect. After the song, the motorcycle gang realizes that he's Rod Tillman, the race car driver. And while they talk, Linda is asked to dance. It seems the gang has an offer that will make Rod some money. So Linda takes Rod to their shack, while the others have something to take care of. Don't mess with this gang's lady. And you know, I've often wondered how much damage a beer bottle would do to a skull after being broken over someone's head. I mean, it seems to happen so often in movies. Anyway, when they arrive at the shack, Linda wants to get a little friendly in the dark, but Rod is too smart for that.
Fantastic.
3-on-1 is not much fun.
A poet, yes.
Is it me or is that cigarette holder weird? Anyway, they seem to want Rod to be their driver, but for what? And what kind of people are they anyway?
We're bad. Bad, bad people. We steal. We do all sorts of evil things. We have kicks, man. Real kicks.
Rod refuses their offer, and that makes Banjo a bit upset. Jeter lets him leave, much to the anger of the rest of the gang, but Jeter has a plan.
Why'd you let this guy get
Let him in on all our plans.
You took your wing or something? He's gonna go to the I said pull it!
As Rod leaves, the police are watching.
Put that guitar down. Put it down real slow.
They've been watching the gang, and they want Rod to work for them, and he agrees.
They're smart. Real smart.
Really smart? Are they watching the same guys I'm watching? This makes me worry about Florida law enforcement. The next morning, Fats learns that Rod is racing again. Of course, this is all set up by the police. They need to get the gang interested in Rod once again. After we see some stock footage, we see that Rod is cracked up once again. It's all part of the master plan.
Look, I've had racing up to here. I'm sick and tired of every grease monkey who can climb behind a wheel running me over. Is your offer still open?
I think something can be worked out.
Undercover Rod is now part of the gang. I have to stop for a second and talk about these transitions. Fancy, let's watch it again. So now we get to look at the kinds of crimes this gang is into. They use Linda to get into a gun shop. I like those glasses. She even lets the store owner load the gun for her.
First rule of gun safety, you never point a gun at anyone.
Not even if you're going to rob them.
I beg your pardon.
Just do what I tell you, and you'll live to tell your wife this shocking experience.
Now, just a minute.
He collapses because she pokes him with the gun? What? Why? How? I don't get it. So the gang comes in and they take what they wish. But before they leave, they have to torture the gun owner a little. The gun owner can't identify any of them, well, except for Linda. So now they've got some guns and it's time for the big plan, to rob a bank. While they discuss their plans, they make Rod leave, which is good because it gives him time to contact the police. It's apparently night, and Rod uses his lighter as a little signal. But as he does this, Linda stops by. Oops. And we get another song.
Oh, I like what I know about you.
And why is Linda involved with such a gang? She's going to let us know.
The kicks, baby, the kicks. Just like riding a bike 100 miles an hour. You're flirting with death. You feel alive. You feel like it's great to be young, to be free, No ring on your finger, no home, no snotty-nosed brats. Just you alive. Oh. Banjo.
Man, you're messing with private stock.
Uh-oh, Banjo shows up and a fight breaks out.
I ought to cut your throat.
Hey, cut! And bathe in my blood. Kill him, baby. Kill him. Kill him, Rod. He's a loser, baby.
Rod wins, but does the right thing. But the fight doesn't upset their plans at all, so the next day it's time for the big score, to rob the Citrusville First National Bank. Linda is sent in again to secure the place by drugging the guard. To make a long story short, Rod contacts a police car during the crime, and that causes 2 officers of the law to be shot and probably killed. Now the gang knows Rod is with the cops, but they still need him to drive. And during the thrilling chase, the police make one of the most common law enforcement mistakes in films. They set up the roadblock on the wrong side of a side street. This seems to happen often in this type of film. But what really makes this chase exciting is all the clever dialogue we hear. That and tires squealing on a grass field.
2 barrels for Banjo coming up. They did it for 500. Whee, man, we were rolling.
Come on, man. Earn your money. Drive, baby, drive. Hey, what's wrong with the car?
Ah, they must have hit the gas tank.
Hey, you see the lighthouse? Stop there.
They end up going into a lighthouse because that's what you want when you are being chased by police, to be trapped in a lighthouse. And this is the gang the police said are smart? Okay. Banjo, for some reason, steals the police motorcycle, and what? Why? How? And it doesn't end well. Bats goes up the stairs to get a better shooting angle. And that's why I would never work in a lighthouse. Look at all those stairs. I mean, those stairs would just kill me and... Oh, wait, I'm sorry, I was distracted. Anyway, we have a shootout going on. Rod goes up the stairs to stop Fats, but by the time he gets there, Fats is already dead. Jeter is right behind and he's about to kill our hero. And can you guess what happens?
See you later, creep.
Linda redeems herself, oh yeah. And we finish with another version of I Like What I Know About You.
And your ways please me so. Oh, I like what I know about you.
I don't hate this film. It's fine for what it is. The best I can say, I guess, is I didn't mind watching it. There's sort of a weird charm to these low-budget films. Though I found one review that said, Wild Rebels, this is a poorly made film with a stupid plot. It is about ruthless motorcycle hoodlums who hold up a bank and commit hideous crimes just for the kicks. Ages 8 to 14. No, 14 to adult. Atrocious and stupid. California PTA. A little harsh, don't you think? I mean, yes, it's a poorly made film with a stupid plot, but that doesn't matter, as long as it's fun to watch. William Grefé isn't a bad director. I mean, for what he has to work with, he does okay. Remember, low-budget directors don't have a lot of options when it comes to retaking scenes over and over again until it's perfect. If the scene is just good enough on the first take, they have to go with it. I mean, film stock is expensive. Today, filmmakers can shoot and reshoot all they want because of digital technology. I just don't think William Grefé is a very good writer, at least not from what I've seen in this film. But you know, he does what he wants, and I find that beautiful. Now, one thing I did like in the movie was the music.
Wild, wild rebels, we're reckless rebels. We take our fun and then we race away. Wild,
wild rebels. We're restless rebels. We have no plans and live from day to day.
Not so much the songs of the Birdwatchers or Steve Alaimo, but the incidental music. It was done by Al Jacobs. Al lived from 1939 to 2014. He was a guitar player who was an original member of the Coasters. And I actually looked to see if the soundtrack was available, but I couldn't find it anywhere. Anyway, I think the music sort of ties the film together, you know? Now, the original film was 90 minutes long, and Mystery Science Theater 3000 showed about 80 minutes. They cut out the race at the beginning. Steve Alaimo sings a song with the Birdwatchers that isn't there. And then there's a scene in which Jeter kicks the head of the gun shop owner. There might be other bits that were cut. I really didn't go through it shot by shot. But anyway, why don't we watch a little of the best of the Mystery Science Theater 3000 episode?
Hey, Pastrano, my favorite sandwich.
Hi, my name's Rod, and I'm a gasaholic.
Hi, Rod. Whoa!
Hey, good thing we got a wide screen.
Ronald McDonald shaking his McBooty.
Woo-hoo! It's a beautiful guitar you got. Can you play blues?
Oh, just because I'm white, you think I can play the blues?
My lunch goes
Oh, brother, Joel, is this Catalina Caper all over again?
I don't think so, but it's the same spirit.
It's showtime.
Hold it right there.
We've got Moog synthesizers. We could kill you from here. But first, let's look at some footage from some of the great races of yesteryear.
For those of you watching at home, we have no idea what the hell is going on.
Thank you very much. Now I'm going to have a peanut butter and nana sandwich. Frankie, I call that the devil's tritone. People go crazy for it.
Oh, nothing like a moonlit afternoon.
Sure, what do you want to know?
Does light stand still on the edge of the black hole?
I think I'll call it a night.
Or an afternoon or whatever. I can't tell by the light.
You forgot the name of the game, Rod.
What's that?
It's Kicks.
Oh, would you shut up about the kicks?
Please.
Well, son, what's the light for?
Illuminating the road after dark, sir?
Here comes the fuzz.
Here comes the fuzz. Here comes the fuzz. He's coming. Now, wait a minute. Banjo's about 2 feet away from the... Look at that. 2 feet away from the cops. Yeah, he's getting serious. He took his sunglasses off. Whoa!
Servo, save yourself. Get out of the way.
Well, Rod, 13 dead cops, 6 dead innocent bystanders, a couple of dead bikers. Good work. I'd like to have you on my team again sometime. What do you think?
Now, before I get out of here, I just wanted to say that I've been working on a documentary about an actor named Keith Purcell, who had a very interesting career. He lived from 1923 to 1981 and had many opportunities in both film and TV and pretty much failed in everything he did. It's a wild story, and I've been working on this for about 6 months, so finally, yay, it'll be published and I can move on to do a biography of the wonderful Virginia Wielder. That'll be next on the list. And of course, next week I'll be doing another Mystery Science Theater 3000 episode, and I go back into the world of Robert L. Lippert with his 1951 film Lost Continent, starring Cesar Romero, Hilary Brooks, and Hugh Beaumont. Can you say rock climbing? Anyway, I hope you'll join me. And again, thank you to everybody who left comments and did likes and all that stuff last week. It warms the cockles of my heart. That is something people say, right? Cockles of my heart. Anyway, take care. I'll be back. So long.